Okay, bear in mind I'm using a screen recorder instead of the video recorder because I can do a lot more with it, like zoom in and stuff. And spider webs tend to be a problem with these cameras. We have 7 cameras outside. Usually 1 or 2 of them has a spider web on it, so I just get after them with a broom and brush them off. It just takes a couple of swipes and that clears it, and on a regular basis another spider web will pop up on one. The reason they're a problem is because they destroy the motion recordings, because they see these spider webs flopping around all night, so they just constantly record that as motion detection. And it doesn't do any harm other than the fact that if something happened and you're trying to find like a dog or something out there and you're using motion detection for that, then you're going to have to wade through 100 or 200 10-second long videos where it recorded the spider web. And really, the motion detection isn't that great on these things at night unless they're up fairly close to the camera, so that's not a big problem. Now you'll notice my legs seem to be invisible. That's because they do have ghosting. If something is in motion any distance away from the camera at all, then it tends to turn into a ghost. Now you'll notice the dog was clearly visible just then, but that was because the flashlight was on it and it was pretty well lit. And also we have this floodlight, infrared floodlight out there on the chicken pen, and that thing keeps things lit up pretty well. And in a minute you'll see the dog again, and it'll show the way that ghosting works. So this is just a phenomenon with these cameras at night. And these cameras do have some problems with the software. They do things I don't like. Now this is, you'll notice there's not much ghosting there close to the camera. One of the problems with this software is it will jump from one camera to the other. And like if you found something and you're at a specific timestamp up here and everything, and you switch cameras, you're going to have to go back to the camera and find that all over again. And it can be just something as simple as trying to move this little bar down here, and you just get a little bit off and move that, and sometimes it will jump to an entirely different camera. So then you have to go back, and it will start over back at midnight. So you'll have to go through there and find it again. And this is just a view of the driveway at midnight. And we have this area lit up because there's a camera out there on a tree over there. And this area is lit up because of this floodlight. That it's actually an infrared floodlight that just adds a little more light out to the area there. Sometimes the cameras will reset, and I've got one camera for whatever reason will stop recording sound, and I don't know it's done that until I go back and I'm looking at videos and I noticed it's turned its sound off, and I have to restart that. That may be a problem with the cable maybe not being in that great a shape or something else. Generally, it records in 1 hour long sections, but if there's a reset, then I've seen it have that time broken up, which isn't that big of a problem. Motion detection, it detects cars fairly well. This camera, being back away from the road, will miss cars going by, and it detects people fairly well. But really at night, motion detection's a little iffy. And during the day, of course, you've got shades thrown by the trees. If the wind's blowing, it's just going to constantly detect those as motions. But overall, in general, these cameras have been absolutely fantastic. And when I first installed them, I didn't think I would be getting that much good out of the things, but we use these things pretty much on a daily basis, just to look around and see anything that might have been going on. And this camera here never misses a car. I mean, it is really great at detecting cars going by. One thing I do if I'm checking the cameras out, I can just do a real quick check to see if the mailman ran by that day and if he stopped at our mailbox. And that kind of saves me a wasted trip. I also use it to check these solar panels here and see how the sun is shining on them, and if it's cloudy or sunny, or if they're getting in the shade, things like that. So it's a good overall useful tool to have, as well as a security measure. So that's pretty much it for this video. Oh, yeah, before I go, I want to show you the zoom in on these cameras. This is a high resolution camera, and to be honest, I don't really notice that big a difference between the capabilities of the thing, but it does have a little bit higher resolution on zooming in on things. And resolution, this is high resolution. If you go to fluent, in live view there's 3 settings, but this is basically just a lower resolution. And if you're having issues with your Wi-Fi running slow or something like that, then you might need to go to a slower resolution. And I have had problems in the past with the software as far as the Wi-Fi speeds that it will send and receive information. I actually went to an older version of the camera software to fix that problem, so there's that. This is using a wide area network, which means, you know, I might as well be in New York or something, because this router over here is not the same as the router connected to the camera. If I was over in the other house using that router for this tablet, that will be a local area network connection, and it is much better than the wide area network that I'm using now. But as you can see right now, even in the higher resolution, we're still not having a problem with the feed. And one of the ways you can tell that is by the sound on the things, if you've got jumps in the sound, or you can just get up here and watch the second hand on the clock. And if it's running smoothly, then you've got a good connection. if the second hand on the clock freezes and then jumps ahead 5 or 6 seconds, or in bad situations 10 or 15, then you'll know you've got a iffy connection. And that has not been a problem with my Wi-Fi. That has been a problem with the camera servers, because we got really good high-speed Wi-Fi out here. Okay, so that should be it. I can't think anything else. I probably will when I end this. But anyway, there you have it.